In today's video, we'll discuss why Anthony Edwards needs help in Minnesota. But before we start, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. Now without further ado, let's get into it. The Minnesota Timberwolves are in the bottom tier of the Western Conference. And after the major trade during the summer that we'll discuss a little bit later, many thought the Timberwolves would be an elite team, or at least a very good one. But if you're an NBA fan, then you know that just isn't the case right now. They're ranked 20th in win percentage, 13th in points per game, 23rd in field goal percentage, 19th in free throw percentage, 24th in rebounding, 11th in assists, and 14th in defensive rating. And honestly, none of those stats are terrible, but yet there are still problems. So let's address them. Problem number one, Karl Anthony Towns. He's only played 21 games so far this season after suffering a calf injury versus the Washington Wizards in late November. Before the injury, Towns was averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists while shooting 50% from the field, 88% from the line, and 32% from 3 on 5 attempts per game. The 27-year-old big man is a top 5 center in the league. And remember, last season in March, he scored 60 points and also won the three-point contest. So while he isn't Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic, he is certainly elite and is much needed for this roster if they want a chance at competing for a title. He's a borderline superstar, and like we previously mentioned, he's just 27 years old. He's in his prime and he wants a championship ring. And that seemed to be the front office's exact thought as well, as they traded for a big star during the summer in hopes that that move will put them in a great position. But unfortunately, while the season is still a little early, there's already been talks about trading him. And having just signed an extension, he can't be traded until the summer. But if the Wolves either fail to qualify for the play-in or lose before the second round of this year's playoffs, then we should probably expect the deafening chatter around Big Cat's future. There's always a chance Minnesota can turn things around by tightening up its three-point defense and finding a better way to space the floor around its 3 stars. But that is far from a sure thing, and we honestly wouldn't bet a dime on it. And there's no doubt that Karl Anthony Towns has been very loyal to the Minnesota Timberwolves franchise. However, it's clear that the franchise will look to explore every move that will make them a better basketball team, even if that means trading its long-tenured star. Hopefully, though, the Timberwolves can manage to turn things around when Towns is back from injury. And let's just speculate for a second. Even when Big Cat comes back to the lineup, do you think his calf injury will be a lingering problem throughout the season? Will it affect his game? Or will he come back putting up great numbers as usual? It's really hard to say. Because as you'll find out later in this video, it seems there's more internal problems within the Timberwolves locker room and or the organization. But now for the next biggest problem, Rudy Gobert. The Timberwolves traded Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, Jared Vanderbilt, the draft rights to Walker Kessler, and 5 first-round picks for Gobert. Yes, all of that. In a nutshell, all of the things Rudy was good at on offense in Utah have transferred over, and so has his deficiencies. Minnesota thought they could unlock more out of his offensive game and wanted to turn him into a decent offensive scoring threat. And as of right now, that just hasn't happened. Don't get us wrong, Gobert is still really good at the rim and as a roller, but he still struggles to catch tough passes or punish a switch. So the best way to get the most out of Gobert is to run the pick and roll over and over again. And that sounds fine, but of course you have 2 other stars that need the ball as well. And due to Gobert's lack of offensive skill, it will not only cause some bad possessions, but defenses would love it if Rudy Gobert was the main focus point on offense, because they wouldn't really have to do anything. I know you don't need us to tell you this, but Gobert isn't a center like Embiid, Joker, or Bam Adebayo who can take you off the dribble, shoot a little, have great post skills and finesse while also being a great free throw shooter. If he was as versatile as those 3, then sure, running a pick and roll every possession would be ideal. But he's not. You also risk turning Karl Anthony Towns into a spot-up shooter. And although he is the best shooting big in the game, we can all agree he is most lethal when his back is to the basket. And we're pretty sure watching Rudy Gobert trying to create offense while you're sitting at the three-point line will frustrate Towns quite a bit. Towns is also a good driver and slasher, and with Gobert clogging up the paint, it's almost impossible to do so consistently. And in no way, shape, or form are we hating on the 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, because he is still an all-star caliber center. He's 3rd in the NBA in screen assists per game, 5th in rebounding, and 16th in shots within 5 feet from the basket. And let's not forget to mention he's also still at the top of major defensive metrics. So he is still one of the most elite defenders in the NBA. And to his credit, while his offense is certainly a problem, it really doesn't help that the Timberwolves can't shoot the ball. And last season, when Gobert played for the Utah Jazz, they were a top 10 3-point shooting team. So while it is easy to blame Gobert for everything, he's still playing relatively well. But now onto the statement that should concern most Timberwolves fans. When asked if it was a mystery why the Timberwolves are underachieving after the Detroit loss on December 31st, Naz Reid said the following: "Not really. We know why. But I'm gonna kind of keep that in the house. But we know why." And we're not here to make any accusations, but it may be possible Reid was referring to Rudy Gobert. And many fans feel the same way because they gave up everything for Gobert. So every little thing he does wrong will be magnified, and all the blame and pressure will fall on his shoulders whether he deserves it or not. And public statements like these are bad for team chemistry, and that could be one of the reasons for their underwhelming play. Well, that and their horrific bench production. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content just like this. But now let's talk about the man that's keeping the Wolves afloat in the Western Conference, Anthony Edwards. The 21-year-old star is averaging 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 4.4 assists while shooting 46% from the field, 74% from the line, and 36% from 3 on 7 attempts per game. Over his last 7 games, he's been putting up superstar numbers, averaging 29 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals while shooting 49% from the field and 39% from 3. He's also 13th in the NBA in shots within 5 feet from the rim, proving to be one of the best finishers in the league. That's no surprise, because not only is he very explosive and can jump out of the gym, but he weighs 225 pounds, and with him being so young, he has a lot of time to put on more muscle and strength to his frame. And given he's already a powerful driver, just imagine at how good he'll be at getting to the rim at 25 or 26. And when it comes to shots 20 to 24 feet from the rim, he's ranked 11th, so he's been a highly effective inside-out scorer. And while it is sort of premature at this point to say he's taken the next step in his young career, he's most definitely a better player now than he was a year ago. There's improvement in several areas, and his rebounding and passing are the 2 things that need to continue on this path even once the team is fully healthy and ready to play. Sure, he still doesn't make perfect reads all the time, but the point is, we've seen him tasked with doing more, and he's mostly been up to the challenge. His improvement as a passer has been impressive, and that will be part of his game that'll elevate him to superstardom. Because we don't know if you've noticed or not, but every elite top 15 player in the league is a good to really good passer. So his improvement there will be huge. And while Ant-Man is a positive, overall things aren't looking great in Minnesota. And while things could change, it's highly unlikely, especially with Taurean Prince and Jordan McLaughlin missing a lot of time. Kyle Anderson has missed a decent chunk of the season as well, and of course, Karl Anthony Towns. But it'll be very interesting to see how things go once he returns. But what do you think? What should the Minnesota Timberwolves do to fix things? And how do you feel about the Rudy Gobert trade now? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.